Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have a crazy trading setup that I think is going to play out really on the short term. It's going to be crazy. And I also, of course, want to give you guys some crypto news and a couple of other opportunities in the crypto space that I think will earn us a crazy amount of money over the next couple of days or weeks. Having said that, XRP is up about 14% over the last 24 hours. Crazy performance. Actually, over on my Telegram, I've also been trying to keep you guys up to date with all my trades, all my ideas. And one of the things I said yesterday was that I think XRP and ADA are going to outperform Bitcoin on the short term. A lot of the other altcoins I think would falter, or at least were not safe enough to go for. And it's kind of funny that when I said that yesterday that the XRP versus Bitcoin prices just spiked like crazy in that very short period of time. Yeah, that stuff gets me excited. Having said that, over on my Telegram group, I also told you guys yesterday, I think there's a crazy trading opportunity coming up in the short term here. This is basically the scenario that I provided to you guys, where we're going to see a bounce from the yellow little line here, which is basically our previous top, then bounce off of the trend line here, and then most likely go to our first take profit target somewhere in the 22,000s. And here is how it's looking right now. All right, we've gotten ourselves the bounce off of this little, resistance here. We got ourselves the bounce from the trend line. And right now, my first target for Bitcoin is going to be at roughly around $22,500. But honestly, I think we can actually take profits here, as this is going to be a stronger resistance as the MA is also coming right back into it. But I honestly think that if it pushes through, we can easily see 25,000. And I guess I got my first target at 25.1. But I honestly would most likely take some profit a little bit below 25,000 as it's such a psychological barrier. But that is honestly how I think is going to play out over the short term. I think this is a crazy opportunity. But as you guys know, I don't like basing it solely upon Bitcoin. I don't. It's never a smart thing because the stock market, really, the stock market has wrecked more people than crypto has, for sure. Even CZ put it on Twitter. Crypto is volatile as a joke because retirement savers lose over $3 trillion in the stock market retreat. Just know anybody saying that the stock market is safe or anything of the sort is either lying to you or is ignorant. Having said that though, recently here, the last couple of hours, last 2 days actually, people have gotten into this really positive narrative over the stock market. I saw this. Stock market futures rise as Wall Street looks to snap a 3-week losing streak. They're finally going to snap it. Stock futures gained Friday, which is right now, as Wall Street looked to grind out a rare positive week in what has been a rough first half of the year. Futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 173 points or 0.6%. Futures for the S&P 500 were 0.6% higher, while Nasdaq 100 futures advanced 0.8%. The move in futures comes as the stock market appears to have found some stability this week, at least for the short term. After an afternoon rally on Thursday, the S&P is up 3.3% for the week, while the Nasdaq Composite is up 4% and the Dow is is up 2.6%. All the three averages are looking to snap 3-week losing streaks, which is juicy. Now, they're also saying the volatility could be elevated today as the FTSE Russell completes its annual index rebalancing, shifting the makeup of indices that are tracked by trillions of dollars. Rebalancing days are typically accompanied by heavy trading volume as well. And that brings me to one specific chart that I've shown you guys a little while earlier. If you guys do remember, I told you all one very important line to hold for Bitcoin is this 6-year trend line that we have been, following in a lot of my videos. And you know what the fun part is? A little while ago, I said the chance of us saving this line and getting back above there over the next week or so is rather small. But that would basically mean that we copy whatever we saw back in March of 2020, mostly. Even though this time around we got to close below it instead of just a little touch. I would say it's fine as long as we get right back in over the next week. If the stock market, however, decides to go for a little push, it could actually be so that the prices come right back in, right? This is 23.5 thousand. We have about, let's say 60 hours or so to get it done. It's honestly possible. That is, again, with the idea in mind that the S&P and Nasdaq are going to continue really positively today, where Bitcoin, for example, or I guess at that point, goes into the weekend in a really positive note and continues to move that way. Again, guys, one of the most likely scenarios here on the midterm for Bitcoin and for the entire crypto market is still to get some sort of relief rally going. I'm personally thinking somewhere at the $32,000 mark, but I'll keep you guys up to date on that entire journey here, as that is going to be one crazy trade. And right now, as it stands, I have a long position open over on Bybit that I told you guys about over in my Telegram Telegram. So if you've not joined my Telegram just quite yet, make sure you go ahead and check it out. I try to share as many updates as I possibly can nowadays. Again, I'm not perfect at it just quite yet, but here, for example, are the first targets that I have for where my trade is going to end. And I'm going to try to do that more and more and more. And one of the opportunities that I also have for you guys over on Bybit, there's actually two of them. One is the WSOT. Now, you got to remember for yourself, the WSOT is a team-based competition, but it's based upon percentages. So even if you only have $500 in your account, you might actually win in comparison to a person that has $70 million in their account. It's not as if you need more money to win this. It's a percentage-based game. Then again, as I said before, last year, a lot of people got very lucky because you don't necessarily have to be very good. Theoretically speaking, if you go for a 50x leverage trade towards the downside and you happen to be right, you might literally win yourself $1 million, for example. I'm not sure exactly how much the maximum amount of money you can win is, but I honestly expect that the solo winners, there's a couple of Zolo parts as well, are just going to be people who YOLO it with a couple $100 and then win themselves, let's say, a couple 100,000 just for being honestly lucky. Or degenerate, depending on how you view it. In our team-based competitions, not something I can honestly recommend you all to do, but I'm saying, if you're part of the team, then any crazy guy on the team that ends up winning, basically, well, they really greatly help the team out. And then there's split over the team. So even if you don't end up doing as well, maybe someone else on the team does, and that might actually benefit all of us because the rewards are split. Which is why I recommend you guys to join our team. A link for that is going to be down below. There's also, however, a couple $1,000s worth of bonus that you can get for free over on Bybit. And all you have to do to get that is go to this little section right there and go to the rewards hub and just check whatever things they have going on for yourself, all right? Using the link down below, you'll always get the best bonus available. And otherwise, let's say you otherwise get $400. If you use the link, you get $3,500 in total that you can get. It's always worth it, I think. But there are two more opportunities that I have for you guys. One has to do with Bybit and one has to do with being an XRP holder, I guess. Not sure which one you guys want to hear first, the XRP holder one or the Bybit one. I guess since we're on Bybit, we're going to go for the Bybit one first. And this is an opportunity that I have for you guys on the short term that is at least 5 to 10x, meaning if you put in $10, you get $50 to $100 back and so forth and so on. It could be 200 that you get out of it, but it could also be a little bit less. It just depends. And I also can't guarantee that you actually get to buy this, but I'm telling you, try it out. I've done that so ridiculously many times, and every single time thus far, it's been worth it. What I'm talking about is over on Bybit, there's the launchpad. Launchpads are huge, specifically in bull markets or in bear markets in bullish times. And in a couple of hours, the snapshot is going to start for OBX. You remember the last token that launched in there, right? Well, I personally don't because I forget the names rather quickly. But the last token that launched in there, we got ourselves, I think, a 12x or so, which was, I think, 3 days ago. Let's see if we can find all projects right here. Maybe it's still in the list. Vulcan, there we go. I was thinking about a 13x or so. And right now, open blocks, I honestly don't know what it does. I have zero idea. Do I care? Absolutely not, because I know Bybit launches are absolutely wild. Every single token that's launched on here has done a crazy ROI. And I just keep buying into them because let's say once it doesn't do that well. Let's say once it only does a 3x. There's absolutely no way in my mind that Bybit is going to let one of these launches, quote unquote, fail. In the worst case scenario, it will be a 3 to 5x or so. But most of the times, I think it will be 10x plus. And again, even if it doesn't, that's going to be one out of all of these. It's going to be the first time ever. So yeah, let's just say I like my odds. But how it works is I've told you guys a couple of times before, right? You just don't need to go ahead and go onto Bybit, get yourself some BIT or have USDT in there and have to go for the lottery function or for the subscription function where basically you have BIT, you just wait a couple of days, it's going to take your average amount of BIT that you have. Then after I think 5 days, so you press join now, and then it will basically allocate as much BIT as possible to buy yourself OBX. It'll only take, let's say, $10, $50, $100, or maximum $500 of the BAT that you allocated, though. Buy some OBX with that, and then you can sell that straight afterwards. You can also try to snipe it and whatnot, but that's not something we're talking about today. I'm just saying this is a crazy opportunity that I recommend you guys all to check out. Again, not a financial advisor, but I guess just following history here has been a great odd, and so I honestly recommend you guys to at least check it out. It's worth it. And then for our great XRP community opportunity, this is from the people in the XP community who've been waiting for a long time. Flare. It is launching in 10 days. Guys, it is coming up, and I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for this because, again, even though I have, let's see, in the time that the Flare snapshot happened, I have at least gotten 30 times more XRP than I had at that point. And the snapshot was, I believe, the 12th of December 2020. Right now, middle of 2022, I have 30 times more XP than I had at that point, maybe even more. I have a crazy, guys, honestly, if you see my XP stash, I think people would do some crazy stuff over that, because I've been hoarding like a madman. And honestly, I actually sold a little bit of XRP just today, about, I'm going to say 2 or 3 hours ago. That is honestly because of the spike on the XRP to BTC pair. It was up about, let's see here, 13% as well, where XP on itself was already doing good and Bitcoin was already doing good, that I decided to sell just a little bit. But that's honestly because I've been focusing too much on XRP, and you always got to stay rational, right? Don't let your entire portfolio be grabbed up by one coin. Diversify whenever you have the chance, and this was a crazy opportunity for me to just sell some, as I'm honestly just using my USDT to buy more XRP, and I'll use some XP to buy some Bitcoin because it was a good trade. It's more a psychological game because I could have also just bought, but whatever. So Flare is launching in 10 days. That basically means I'm not so sure exactly when we're going to get our tokens, right? Because I have it on a lot of, I think I had it on a lot of exchanges, and they have not, all of them at least, have decided to say when they're going to support it. But for a lot of the people who have also claimed it on their ledger, which I didn't do because I didn't think it was going to be worth a lot, but that's also because I thought it was going to be launched over 2 years ago. It's taken a long time. I didn't claim the XP on my ledger for this airdrop because I was too lazy. And now I guess I kind of regret that, because it could have been a juicy amount of money as well on the side. And Flare is pretty huge. At least it's become pretty huge. At that point, it wasn't really worth much. But again, that's all for in the past. I honestly think how it's going to look is either going to be a claim form somewhere, or it's just going to be a very simple airdrop to the ledger that you provided a long time ago. We're going to see how it's going to go. If you have your XRP on an exchange, though, and you had that at that point as well, it'll most likely just be airdrop to the exchange. And I think Uphold has already said they'll be supporting it. Bitro, I think, has already said they'll be supporting it. A couple of exchanges like Binance have not heard anything of just quite yet. But again, it's going to be 10 days when it launches, which is crazy. We've been waiting for 2.5 years already. No, 1.5 years already. I was like, doesn't work exactly. 1.5 years already, which has been just crazy. But finally, it's going to be launching, and I'm pretty excited for this, and I think, honestly, this is going to be a crazy money opportunity as well, as it was obviously completely free, and right now we're most likely going to get some juicy airdrop out of this, as I think the token, Flare, will do pretty well over the next couple of months or years. I honestly think it's going to be a banger, but we shall see. Just a crazy little opportunity for you guys in the short term. Flare, I think, is going to be a banger, right? Just going to quickly let you guys in on that. I think we covered everything that we need to cover for today. Just letting you guys in on the little hoop. Again, so I make it clear here, there was also a little bottom scenario for Bitcoin. Right now, we're facing a little double top here for Bitcoin at 21.1. You've seen a little a hovering, I guess, at that point a little bit earlier as well. We faced that resistance multiple times in the past. But there's still a bottom scenario for XRP, and it just depends on whether or not we cross the $20,000 mark. So even though the long position right now is the most prominent and most logical, if we do end up coming back down and actually go below basically this little trend line right here, and we actually end up going below 20,000, I'm actually still going to execute my short position, which is going to be my first target at about $19,000. At the end of the day, guys, a lot of this stuff is probability. A lot of it has to do with the stock market or so. But if all of a sudden the stock market turns itself back around, it's going to all of a sudden poop on its own head, then do expect some volatility and it ending up on the downside. Just letting you guys in on that little alpha right there. But that was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button. Yeah, that's it. Adios.